Yes, children, coming to our next exercise, exercise B. Fill up the following blanks using the clue kit. So, there is a clue kit given in your textbook. Just below the fill in the blanks. Below they have given, but I have written this above so that you can see clearly. Okay. So, let us read what are the words in the clue kit. Cultural and educational rights, emergency, right to equality, social and political, 26 January 1950. So, these are the words given in the clue kit. Using these words, you have to fill up the given blanks. Okay. So, let us read the first question. First one, Constitution of India came into existence on dash. When did our constitution came into existence? When was it formed? Our constitution came into force on, yes, 26th January 1950. This is the right answer. 26th January 1950. Our constitution came into being on 26th January 1950. Second, the fundamental rights are dash in character. The fundamental rights are, yes, they are social and political in character. Fundamental rights are social. At the same time, they are political also. Political in character. They are social and political in character. Yes. Third, dash means equality before law. Equality before law. Which fundamental right it is? Right to equality means equality before law. All are treated equal in before law. That is right to equality. Next, fourth one, right to freedom is automatically suspended during dash. Right to freedom is automatically suspended during, if there is any emergency situation comes, then right to freedom, it is automatically suspended. Yes, suspended during any emergency. Emergency. E-M-E-R-G-E-N-C-Y. Emergency. Then the last one, fifth one, dash explain preservation of language and culture of minorities. Yes, which fundamental right explain to protect our or preserve our culture, language and also the culture of the minorities. Yes, cultural and educational rights. Cultural and educational rights. Cultural and educational, E-D-U-C-A-T-I-O-N-A-L, educational rights. Yes, it explains, this fundamental rights explain preservation of language and culture of minorities. So, the first one, Constitution of India came into existence on 26th January 1950. This is the right answer. Next, the fundamental rights are dash in character. They are social and political in character. This is the right answer. Third one, dash means equality before law. Equality before law means right to equality. Right to equality means equality before law. Then fourth, right to freedom is automatically suspended during emergency, isn't it? Emergency. Then last one, dash explain preservation of language and culture of minorities. Cultural and educational rights. Yes, this explain preservation of language and culture of minorities. Yes, children, our next exercise is exercise C. Write yes or no for the following statements. So, we have to write yes or no for the following statements. Given are some statements, you have to read the statement first. If the statement is correct, you have to write yes here in the bracket. If the statement is wrong, if it is not correct, then you have to write no in the brackets. Okay. So let us read the first question. First one, right to work is one of the fundamental rights in the Constitution of India. Right to work is a fundamental right in the Constitution. Have you learned about right to work in this 6 fundamental rights? No. Yes, there are 6 fundamental rights, but among them right to work is not there, isn't it? So the given statement is not correct. So you have to write no. No, yes. So, no, no. Now, coming to the second question or second statement, right to equality means equality before law. Yes, right to equality is one of the fundamental rights, and right to equality means all are equal before law, equality before law. So, the given statement is correct. Yes, so you can write S in the brackets. Yes, Y-E-S, yes. Now third, right against exploitation, about the banning of forced labor. Right against exploitation is means right against exploitation talks about, okay. Right against exploitation talks about the banning of forced labor. Is the statement right? Right against exploitation talks about the banning of forced labor. Yes, we have no right, no one has right to exploit any person, to make them to force or compel and do the work. Yes, so right against exploitation talks about the banning of forced labor. We should ban that, isn't it? Already it's banned to force and making someone to do the work. So this is a correct statement. So you can write S in the brackets. Yes, it means the banning of forced labor. Fourth one, fundamental rights are only positive. Is the statement correct? We have 6 fundamental rights, and these fundamental rights are both positive and negative, not only positive, isn't it? So the given statement is not correct. It's wrong. So you can write no. And no. Now coming to the last one, fundamental rights constitute the backbone of the nation. Yes, fundamental rights are backbone of the nation. They are the strength of the nation. Yes, the statement is correct. So you can write S here. Okay. So the first one is right to work is one of the fundamental rights in the Constitution of India. Right to work is no way the fundamental rights, isn't it? It's not a fundamental right. So the answer is no. Write no in the brackets. Second, right to equality means equality before law. Yes, it is a fundamental right, and right to equality means equality before law. It is a right statement, correct statement. So you can write S in the brackets. Then third one, right against exploitation talks about the banning of forced labor. Right against exploitation talks about banning of forced labor. Yes, it talks about banning, to stop the forced labor. The given statement is correct. So you can write S in the brackets. Next one, fourth one, fundamental rights are only positive. Fundamental rights are both positive and negative. So the given statement is wrong. So you can write no in the brackets. Now coming to the last one, fifth one, fundamental rights constitute the backbone of the nation. Yes, fundamental rights, they are the strength, or they are the backbone of the nation. So the given statement is correct. It is right statement. So you can write here S in the brackets. Okay. Yes children, our next exercise D, write a short note on how fundamental rights applicable in your daily life. You have to write a short note on how these rights, fundamental rights of our constitution to all our citizens of India, how it is applicable in your daily life. Yes, answer, fundamental rights help each and every one of us in different ways. It helps every one of us, each and every citizen of India in different ways. I have freedom of speech and expression. Yes, that is a fundamental right given by our constitution. I have freedom to think, freedom to speak, freedom of expression. Then I can express likes or dislike, whatever is my like, whatever which I doesn't like. Everything I have the freedom to express. without any fear. No fear in expressing that. I have freedom before law, equality before law. Yes. I can fight against anybody if my rights are suppressed. If anyone is trying to put down forcefully my rights, then I have the right to fight. Yes. Then I have educational rights. I have educational rights. All are free to receive education. Nobody can force me to work against my will. No one in here in our country can force anyone to do any work. Constitution guarantees all these rights. So our constitution guarantees all these rights. So our constitution actually fulfills our dreams and hopes, as I said to you earlier, isn't it? Guarantees equality and freedom to all citizens of India. So how this fundamental rights applicable in our daily life? You have to write a short note on how fundamental rights applicable in your daily life. These are the ways by which it is applicable. Fundamental rights help each and every one of us in different ways. I have freedom of speech and expression. I can express likes or dislikes without any fear. I have freedom before law. I can fight against anybody if my rights are suppressed. SUPPRESSED. I have educational rights. Nobody can force me to work against my will, against my wish. Constitution guarantees all these rights. Okay. Yes children, coming to the next exercise, exercise E. Write fundamental rights and their importance. You have to write about the fundamental rights and its importance. So fundamental rights, importance. First fundamental right is right to equality. Its importance is equality before law. All are treated equal before law. Second, right to freedom means its importance is freedom, speech, right of the freedom to speak, speech. Right against exploitation, its importance is child labor. No one has the right to force or compel the child under 14 years of age to work, to do some risky job. Cultural and educational rights. Another fundamental right, its importance is preservation of language and culture, protection, how to preserve, to protect our language and culture. Right to constitutional remedies, the last fundamental right. Its importance is protection of the interest of minorities. Yes, so these are the fundamental rights and its importance. Right to equality means equality before law. Right to freedom, freedom speech. Right against exploitation, child labor. Cultural and educational rights, preservation of language and culture, right to constitutional remedies, minorities. Yes children, so our next exercise, exercise F. What do these symbols indicate? So there are few symbols given here in your textbook. Okay, yes, you can see here the symbols one by one. And by seeing the symbols, you have to write which fundamental rights it indicate. Okay. Yes, the first symbol is, see here, which is the symbol you can see here. Which symbol is that? Which fundamental right symbol is that? Yes, it's right to constitutional remedies. Yes, you have to write right to constitutional remedies. The first symbol represents right to constitutional remedies. That is the first symbol represents. Now the second one, which is the second one, second symbol. Yes, see the second symbol. What does this indicate? Yes, this symbol indicates cultural and educational rights. Yes, cultural and educational rights. Cultural and educational rights. Another fundamental right, important fundamental right, cultural and educational rights. Now coming to the third symbol, third image. See the third image here. Which symbol can you see here? Yes, it's right to freedom of religion. Yes, right to freedom of religion. Right to freedom of religion. Right to freedom of religion. Now coming to the fourth symbol. See the fourth symbol here. Yes, what does this indicate? Yes, right to equality. Yes, right to equality. All are equal before law. It's right to equality symbol. Now coming to the next image, next symbol. Which image or which symbol this is? Yes, right to freedom. Yes, right to freedom. Right to freedom. Now the last symbol, last image represents, yes, here's the last symbol. You can see children over there. Yes, right against exploitation. Right against exploitation. Exploitation. Yes. So these symbols represents the first image. First symbol represents right to constitutional remedies. Second image, it represents cultural and educational rights. Third image or third symbol represents right to freedom of religion. Then fourth image or symbol represents right to equality. Then fifth one represents right to freedom, and the sixth image represents right against exploitation. These are the 6 fundamental rights and its symbols. Okay. Yes children, so it's time to do the project work. Let us see what is the project work given in your textbook. Okay. Find 6 differences in the 2 pictures. Here you can see 2 pictures. One row you can see few children, second row also you can see few children. Then with different dresses, colorful image you can see here. Yes, you have to find out 6 difference among these 2 images or these 2 pictures. So it's so interesting children. So find out the 6 differences between these 2 pictures. Okay, it's so interesting to find, isn't it? Yes. First itself we can see the first row, first girl. See her hairband, it's brown in color. Second row, the same girl, see the hairband, it's plain orange, and the skirt also different. Now itself we got 2 differences. Remaining you can find out, isn't it? Yes. The first girl, first row, the skirt is, you can see dots, white dots, but the second row, the same girl, you can see no dots in the skirt, it's plain skirt. So that like that differences are there. So you have to find out the differences among these 2 pictures. Okay? Yes. Now next is life skills. Yes, life skills. Secularism seeks to ensure and protect freedom of religious belief and practice for all citizens. So secularism, what is secularism actually? It is the government which is independent. If any religion in many states, because India is a secular country we can say, because we practice different religions, different cultural people lives here, people speak in different languages, traditions, they lives here. So India is a secular country. Secularism seeks, it attempt to find, make sure or safe and protect the freedom of religious belief and practice for all citizens. Secularism is not about curtailing religious freedoms. Means it doesn't, not only it is reducing or shorten the religious freedom, it is about ensuring that the freedoms of thoughts and conscience apply equally to all believers and non-believers alike. It is about ensuring, making sure that the freedom of thought and conscience, whatever we are thinking, the freedom of thought and also the conscience, the moral sense to think what is right and what is wrong, everything apply equally to all the believers and also non-believers. Even if he is a believer or not believer, secularism, it makes sure to give the freedom of thought and conscience to each and every citizen of India. It's actually a state that supports and participates in a neutral manner. So our government supports and they participates in everything in a neutral manner. in the affairs of all religious groups. No separation for the religious groups here. That's why India is known as a secular country. A government or a state that supports and participates in a neutral manner, like in a common way in all the religious affairs, all the events of the religious groups. So secularism means that making sure or giving the protection of freedom of religious belief and practice. They can practice their own religion for all the citizens of India. So India is a secular country. India has different religious people living here, different culture people living here, different language speaking people living here, but all lives in a together in a brotherhood or in a unity. So India is a secular country. Yes, so children, we have completed the lesson 16, fundamental rights. So once after reading the lesson thoroughly, you can go through the exercise well, and you have to well prepare for your exams. As you know, you have assignments and exams for each lesson. So read the lesson thoroughly, at the same time learn the exercise well, okay, and be well prepared for exams.